Hello, welcome to the latest Business Spotlight podcast. I'm joined today by Matt Hill, and Matt Hill is the founder of PMI Brokers, which is a private medical insurance specialist firm. So, Matt, welcome to the call.
Thank you for having me, Gavin.
It's actually fantastic to see you. Now, Matt, this is a relatively new business for you. So why don't you just take a few minutes to explain what it is that you do and why you got started in it?
Sure. So what it is we do, we're a whole of market private medical insurance brokers. So our role is basically to take down someone's requirements, and people have got some very interesting requirements around health insurance, and fit that with the most suitable provider and the benefits that you can edit within that provider's policy. The other side of it is people who are currently insured. So I know that people are very much used to reviewing insurances when it comes to things like car insurance and other insurances of that nature.
Yeah.
Really, people should be also doing that with health insurance.
Hmm.
Health insurance is an annual policy. Insurers being insurers, when the policy gets to the renewal, they'll usually try and increase the rate a little bit. But part of a broker's role is to annually review the market for their customers, make sure that if they do want to remain with the current provider, the pricing is as keen as it possibly can be.
Hmm.
But alternatively, if they do want to look at transferring to a different insurer, that transfer is done seamlessly and the person doesn't lose out on any past medical history that may be covered.
And do the
That's
providers that you work with, do they cover personal and say corporate type insurance policies to cover both?
Yes, they do. Yes. The company itself is a mixture of the company that I have is a mixture of personal and business plans.
Right.
Um, Business sector tends to be little easier to move schemes around the market.
Hmm.
Also, some of the options that are available for business plans aren't available to personal customers. So, business plans can cover their employees' past medical history. There are some very unique benefits that can be selected should the business want it.
Yeah.
Uh, Personal plans is a bit more off the shelf products, and past medical history in most circumstances won't be covered at point of joining.
Okay.
So
Now that makes perfect sense. We said at the beginning that this is a new company for you. So tell us a little bit about your journey from sort of working for other people and making the decision to set up your own business and work for yourself. What was the main driver behind that?
that's the main driver for that was really progression in my old company. I couldn't really go much further than where I was. Um, I saw an opportunity to start something for myself, which has been a dream of mine really for the last 5 years or so. I really wanted to just give this a go for myself, and the timing was right. I realised, courtesy of COVID. I mean, obviously it was a horrible time for so many people, but for me it was an eye opener that when we were forced to work from home, that
Mm.
I could self manage my own time and that I could um, work uh, productively without someone standing over my shoulder. So it was that really that gave me the confidence to actually go ahead and start a company for myself. And my background prior to that was 11 years at a health insurance brokerage,
Mm.
selling health insurance. I managed a team towards the end as well. Prior to that, I worked for a health insurer for a few years as well. So I've done both sides of the fence, and yeah, no, it's been an opportunity that I
Yeah.
couldn't really turn down.
So this is obviously an industry that you know very well and you're very skilled at. Without wishing to put words into your mouth, is it something you're passionate about as well? Is it something you have a
Yeah,
huge interest in?
it's quite a. I have to be careful with what I say, really, because the National Health does an amazing job where it can.
Mm.
But unfortunately, the pressures it's come under, again, following COVID, hasn't helped things. Um, but my industry, private medical insurance, has a lot of opportunities for positivity to come from selling a policy. I'm not just selling something in the hope that the deal is done and then that's it. You don't think about it again. It's something that, provided done right, you know that if a customer then falls ill, they're not going to be waiting months to see a consultant or potentially years for a surgical procedure. They'll be in and seeing someone privately within a few days and having their procedure done within a few weeks. The time frames are that much shorter. So it is a massive sense of pride when you are helping somebody through a relatively complex product
Yeah.
find something that you know will look after them for years and years to come.
It sounds that you're very much driven by values in that. It's a space where you're trying to understand what the customer needs and provide the best solution.
Yeah.
I find that interesting, particularly when people set up their own business, because in various industries, quite often you get the people that are driven by values and are driven by passion and concern and care for other individuals, and others that are driven perhaps more by the profit motive themselves. So it's very reassuring to hear that your customers' needs are paramount in your thinking. What is it you would say that in setting up the business that has been a pleasant surprise to you, and what has been a challenge that perhaps you hadn't expected?
So a pleasant surprise, I suppose, is that there has been a greater work-life balance. I've got a 3-year-old daughter, so it's very nice to be able to spend some more time with her in the evenings.
Yeah.
Um, in the old company, because of the hours that I kept, I barely saw her unless it was a weekend. So there's a lot more time for her for that, which is absolutely amazing. On the flip side of that, as a business owner, I don't think you ever really shut off.
Mm.
I found myself way into the evening thinking of marketing strategies or what I may have done differently in a different situation. Whereas when I was working for somebody, you kind of you leave the business at the door and then you come back to it the next day. So fours and against really for that.
Yeah, that's a very powerful driver, isn't it? Actually, as we were talking, before the call, we've got these 3 hats that you have if you are a business owner: the technician who has the skill in whatever it may be, the manager who's running the business and making it happen and deciding, as you suggest, your own hours and what you can do, and then the entrepreneur who's kind of got the direction of where the business uh, wants to go, and it can be quite difficult to balance that. It's good to hear you talk about marketing as being something that um, you enjoy. Uh, do you care to share with us a couple of the strategies that you use to find your customers?
Yeah, I don't mind sharing. So there's a few strategies that I'm employing. So some of it is social media. It is such a powerful driver for business. But there is a balance to be struck with it. You can't just be constantly putting out adverts because it just doesn't engage well. Um, there are the referral network.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I've been in the industry long enough that I do pick up plenty of customers that are wanting to deal with me coming forwards.
Hmm.
So that's nice as well.
Mm.
And then the other aspect, which is pay-per-click marketing. In the industry that I'm in, that is a good way to drive business. It's just a very costly way to drive business. Um, and yeah, in talking about uh, potential pain points,
Yeah.
that can be one. We spoke about values.
Mm.
I've walked away from business that I know is not right to write because I know that if I do write it, the customer may as well not have had a policy.
Yeah.
But every one of those inquiries I speak to comes with a cost attached to it.
Mm.
So it's striking a balance between making sure that the company is profitable, but also I stick very clearly to my values that I don't do anything that would detriment a customer or sell a policy that is not worth having because it just isn't worth my reputation.
That you know that comes across really clearly and powerfully, and also your broader sense of the importance of values, Matt. It's been fantastic having you on the call today, and I wish you well for the future of the business. And
Thank you.
thank you for sharing your time with us and your ideas today.
No, my pleasure. Thank you very much, Gavin. Cheers.
Thank you.